What is up, you guys? You're watching Sergio, and before I get started with today's video, if you can please give this video a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button. I post videos daily on contemporary and designer fashion. First, excuse this little spot, I just came from lunch with some friends, so I still wanted to wear this little Burberry little fantasy. I'll see if I can try to find it linked down below, but I still wanted to wear it, so I was like, you know what, I feel like my subscribers wouldn't mind. I've been getting a lot of questions about the Coach giveaway winner. The winner got announced on Instagram because the person did have an Instagram, but everybody's entries did get counted. I did find a winner, and I'll leave the winner in the comments down below just if you are curious of the handle. And without further ado, let's go ahead and get started with today's video. So a lot of you guys know I'm not the biggest Louis Vuitton fan, that even though I may not be a big Louis Vuitton fan, and if you want to know the reasons why I'm not a big Louis Vuitton fan, I'll leave a video linked down below that will kind of make me talk a little bit more about it, because I don't really want to reiterate and I don't want to re-explain myself because I've already made a video about that. But today's video is going to be the Louis Vuitton handbags that I actually like, and handbags that I would actually wear if I was into Louis Vuitton. So I picked about 7 items. Well, there's 6 handbags and 1 accessory, and then I'm gonna be telling you my thoughts and opinions on leather, canvas, and all that good stuff. So let's go ahead and get started, and I'm gonna be telling you my favorite handbags. So my first favorite handbag that I really like from Louis Vuitton, and honestly my favorite out of the entire range, and it's honestly going to be a Louis Vuitton Alma. And the reason why I like the Alma is just because it's such a classy and sophisticated handbag. Regardless if you get them in the kind of like the smaller size or the bigger sizes, I think that the Alma, even in Veronese leather and epi leather and monogram, and all the different variations that they've done throughout the years, I just think that the Alma is such a classy silhouette. I love the beautiful zippers. I love the zippers that make a statement, and I just like how the classiness of the elegance that it has. I find that it kind of gives me like a old money type style handbag. Like the Alma BB costs about, I think, right under $2,000, and I think that's a really great handbag for a beginner or even somebody that wants to add another handbag into the collection. And for me, if I were to go back and restart buying Louis Vuitton, the first item that I would honestly get is not anything else. It would honestly be a Louis Vuitton Alma, probably an epi leather or in the damier Abine canvas. Now, as far as the canvases, there obviously are a bean, a zur, and the classic monogram, and then obviously like the graphite, and then the LV that's like in the LV monogram that's like in the black. So the graphene and the black LV, I think it's called Eclipse. I do like those. They're black and white. They're kind of like black and white. They kind of like just go with everything. But if I'm picking out of the 3 core, I will say I will prefer damier Abine versus azur and classic monogram. And the reason is because for me, if I'm spending a lot of money on a handbag or a lot of money on even ready to wear or accessories, because Louis Vuitton does use Vachetta leather on a lot of their items, even items that are not part of the leather goods range, I feel like if I'm spending my hard-earned money, I wouldn't want something that shows signs of wear very easily. Now you can say, well, Sergio, you're supposed to use the love, you're supposed to, you know, cherish the bag, you have white bags, Sergio, but that's a little bit different. You know, I can have a white handbag and I can leave it in a closet and it'll be fine, but I can have a Louis Vuitton, let's say, monogram item with Vachetta leather, and it's going to oxidize regardless, especially here in the Texas heat, especially here in just Houston, the humidity. The patina does get really darker a little bit faster than if you were to live, like, you know, in New York or in Chicago, a little bit up north. Personally, don't like Vachetta leather. I've never been a big fan of Vachetta leather at all, even if it's incorporated within other brands. Like I know Dooney and Burke does nice Vachetta leather as well, but for me, Vachetta leather is just not something that I feel like is worth it, just because it shows kind of like an expiration date. And you know, I feel like even if you love that bag, eventually it's going to look kind of gross. It's gonna look a little dusting. Like I've seen ones that are so dark, especially in the damier azur, where it looks so dark and honestly it just looks like a used bag, like it needs to be in the graveyard. Versus if you went for a damier Abine or an item that doesn't have a shell leather, you could have it so much longer period of time in your wardrobe, especially if you want it to be something that lasts. I definitely recommend getting items that are not Vachetta leather. And when you really think about it, Louis Vuitton is very smart that they introduced the classic monogram within Vachetta leather, because since the monogram is the most loudest recognizable print in the world, or one of the recognizable prints in the world, it's very, it's always out there. So since you can kind of incorporate Vachetta and wear down the expiration date of the item, and especially if you always want to look on part, you always want to look your best, you don't want a bag that looks super dark and like maybe you're caught in the rain, it has rain marks on it, or you spilled something in the oils of your hand. So they're kind of smart because they kind of like have the iconic item, but it also has a great downer to it, so it kind of keeps kind of the exclusivity of the handbag a little up. If you kind of get me, you kind of have to get it to get it. But I will say those are my opinions. I like the Damir Abin, and then I like the two kind of monograms that they do more in the men's line, and I would say I do prefer the monogram, and then I would say Azur is my least favorite, just because especially Azur, when it patinas, it does not look cute. I am so sorry guys, but I'm being completely honest. But if I were to pick one handbag out of the entire Louis Vuitton range, it is the Alma. It's the ultimate classiest handbag in my opinion. And the thing is, I don't even see a lot of people have the Louis Vuitton Alma. Even within their leather ranges like the Capucines or some of the other bags, I see those more often than the Alma. I just think the Alma is such an underrated classic style of handbag for Louis Vuitton that doesn't get talked about a lot. Yes, you see it out, but not out as much as some of the other Louis Vuitton bags. And I just think it's so classy, it's so elegant, it's so kind of like, I don't know, it just kind of gives that sophistication vibe. I like the feet at the bottom, I like the zippers, the little cliche. It just kind of gives it more of a really canvas. It tends to be associated a little bit more with casual wear. Within my experience, when I see monogram pieces, it's usually dressed a little bit more casually. But the Alma, even though there's canvas variations, it always looks dressed up. And so for me, the Alma is always going to be one of my favorite Louis Vuitton handbag. I'm not going to say one of them. It is my favorite handbag, part of the entire Louis Vuitton range. The second Louis Vuitton bag that I really enjoy and that I really like, and I think this is the only leather variation that I'm talking about in this list, it's going to be the Louis Vuitton Capucines, or I call it the Frappuccino bag, and I say that as a joke with all my friends. The Capucines bag, that is my second favorite bag. I think this bag got introduced not too long ago. Like, yes, it got introduced years ago, but not as far as some of the other handbags that I'm going to be talking about in this list. But the Capucines bag is such a beautiful, elegant, and if I were to only get one leather bag from Louis Vuitton, I wouldn't get the Capucines, I wouldn't get any of the other prints, I wouldn't get any of the other styles. I would honestly get the Capucines bag. And I just like that it has the top handle, I like that it has the strap, I like that it has the LV incorporated in it, but it's not like super loud. It just has the little LV, stamping in the front. And I just love everything about the Capucines bag. I think it's so beautiful. I think it's so elegant. It's kind of like a little bit of a step up of an Alma. For the most part, Almas tend to be in canvas, and obviously Capucines only come in leather. Louis Vuitton Capucines is definitely Louis Vuitton's Loewe puzzle bag. It's the Chanel Classic Flap. It's the Hermes Birkin. It is their bag for Louis Vuitton. And so whenever you wear one, it's kind of like their status. Yes, there's other bags that people carry a lot more, they're a lot more popular, like the Speedy and the Neverfull, which I'll talk about in a second. That's their tier bag. When you think about their it bag, or like Dior, Lady Dior, Louis Vuitton Capucines bag, that is their bag. And I honestly never see Louis Vuitton getting rid of the Capucines bag. I think it's going to be kind of like their classic bag that they're trying to make. They bring it out in so many colors, so many variations, and it's one of the top ones that gets done in a lot of fun exotic leathers and a lot of fun different styles. Like when you see a lot of the collaboration pieces that they do, the Capucines for the most part, it usually involved 9 times out of 10. So for me, Capucines is not going to go anywhere. I think it's such a beautiful handbag, and I see it styled very, very well. I've never seen a Capucines not styled well. I usually see a lot of men and women carry this handbag with a lot of class and sophistication. I feel like their life is together, like they walk, they have a whole vibe. I never see Capucines looking all floppy or all over the place. It just always looks pretty professional, just like the Almas. That's my favorite canvas handbag, and that's my favorite leather handbag. I just think that both are beautiful. And you have a thing, they're kind of both kind of top handle bags, even though they both have straps. I think the top handle definitely is a style that definitely looks a little bit more dressed up versus like totes, or versus things that are a little bit more kind of crossbodies or shoulder bags. Next handbag that I quite like as well is going to be the Louis Vuitton on the go bag. And the reason why I like the on the go bag, because I find that it's a different take than from the Dior book tote. And the Dior book tote, I used to have that handbag in my collection. But the thing is with the Dior book tote, it is made out of canvas. Yes, they've done leather variations, but it's a little bit too thin where it kind of like flops around. I find that the canvas actually is a little bit more sturdier than Dior book tote leather. I find that it holds up a little bit better. But for me, the on the go is just kind of like the variation of it. First of all, I appreciate that it has a longer strap, so you can have that versatility in it, and it's literally on the go. I think that this is kind of a step up from the Neverfull. It's a step up from the book tote, and I think the book tote is a little bit more expensive than the on the go bag. But I would still, right now, I would probably not buy a book tote anytime soon, just because A, the price is so expensive for what it is. When I bought mine, I believe I paid $2,700. That handbag is now $35 within the span of 2.5 years. So 5, 6, 7, 8 went up almost $800 within the 2 years and a half. So definitely not a bag that I would buy now. But I will say the on the go is a great alternative, and it's a great alternative to the Neverfull as well, just because it's more versatile. You don't see people with it as much, and I actually see a lot of business women and men carry this bag. I just think it's done so well, especially with the straps. You're on the phone, you know, minding my own biz, go tote on top of the luggage, and it's honestly a really cute airport bag as well. And so I like that it has the incorporation of structuredness. And I will say the canvas on this one, I find that it's a little bit more structured than some other canvas items. I noticed that throughout the Louis Vuitton range within all these years, is that I find that certain canvases from certain handbags or certain accessories tend to be a little bit more stiffer and a little bit more hard wearing than the canvas on some of the other items. So you kind of have to pick and choose, but I will say the on the go canvas is done pretty well, and I'm gonna have to say that I do recommend it, and that it is a pretty great handbag if you do ask. 4 and number 5 are obviously going to be the classics Louis Vuitton Neverfull and Speedy. Now, as far as Speedy, I will always prefer the classic Speedy, and I'm going to tell you why I prefer the classic Speedy versus the bandolier. Even though the bandolier is more travel friendly, it's more convenient, it's more if like you're a mommy, if you're a daddy, if you know you're on the go. Obviously the strap's going to be kind of like, it's going to be a little bit better for your lifestyle. But there's something about the classic Speedy with nothing on the sides that you can lock it, and there's just nothing like a classic Speedy. So I will always prefer the classic Speedy well over the bandolier style. And for me, I prefer the Speedy. I think the Speedy looks best 30 to 35 size. I think once you get to 25 or 20 or to 40, I think they're a little bit unproportional. I think the 40 is starting to look like a luggage bag or like a little mini duffel, and I think the smaller ones, I don't know, proportionally, unless you're very petite and you have a really pretty frame like that, then I could see it working. But for like me, I would honestly go for Speedy 35 just for my frame, and probably a little bit more shorter than me, they could probably get away with a 30 because they will proportion really well within their body. But I will prefer a classic Speedy, no bandolier, and I would say it looks a lot better 30 and 35. And the Speedy is something that will honestly, all these bags that I'm mentioning, I feel like they will never go. Even if I look back in this video 5 years from now, I can honestly tell you that all these bags will still be relevant. These bags will probably be way expensive than what they are right now. Louis Vuitton recently had a price increase, so a lot of these handbags are a lot more expensive than what they used to be like even like 2 years ago. But I will still say all these bags, if you do like Louis Vuitton and that's something that you do want to purchase and you do want to play a little bit more safe, I would say that all of these items in this list are definitely worth it. So the Speedy classic, can never go wrong with it. I feel like it's the perfect like hot girl autumn bag, and you see all different types of people carry a Speedy. You see mamas, you see children, you see grandmas, grandpas. I've seen everybody carry the Louis Vuitton Speedy. Guys, I'm blurry, but we've even seen Uncle Snoop have a Louis Vuitton Speedy. So if Uncle Snoop has a Louis Vuitton Speedy, that says a lot. Pretty damn iconic if you ask me. The next one is going to be the Neverfull. As much as people hate the Neverfull, they say it's a basic bag, they say that it's so generic, I really don't care. I really don't care. Whatever people say, Louis Vuitton will not be Louis Vuitton. They will not be able to do the fashion shows. They will not be able to do, you know, all these different things that they do, or give gifts to their VICs. Louis Vuitton would not be anywhere without their canvas items. Point blank period. I mean, I'm gonna say it, it's 100% true. No matter how many top customers you have, it's gonna be the core monogram customers that really make Louis Vuitton what it is. And Louis Vuitton honestly would not be where it's at if it wasn't for the Neverfull, if we're being really honest. So the people that have Louis Vuitton collections that like to hate on the Louis Vuitton Neverfull, honestly, Louis Vuitton would not be Louis Vuitton in 2022 if it wasn't for the Louis Vuitton Neverfull. Point blank period. You cannot argue with me, and I don't care what people have to say, because regardless, it is true. So the Louis Vuitton Neverfull, I would honestly get it in the MM size and the GM size if I do want it as like a beach bag or as a travel bag. But for me, as an everyday size for my frame, I would probably get the MM size. I like the extra pouch. I will say I don't like the extra pouches when people carry them more at nighttime or for like dinner bags, like for more kind of like higher dinners or higher occasions. I find that it's a little bit too on the casual side. I find that there's other bags that you can carry, but as far as like an everyday, like I have to go to Starbucks, I have to go pick up my children, I have to, you know, pick up my dry cleaners or pump gas, I think that the Louis Vuitton pouch that comes inside the Neverfull, I think it's really convenient for that. And I like that people actually use it as a wallet, so it's kind of like a 2-in-1. And I obviously like the tote as well. I know people back in the day used to say that the Louis Vuitton, you can reverse it in and out. Honestly, I quite tacky in and out. Like I've never seen a person carry their Louis Vuitton bag inside out. I've never seen that in person, and I've worked in luxury retail, I've seen it all, baby, but I've never seen nobody carry their Louis Vuitton reversible. So that's not a thing that people do. I don't know, I've seen people say that in YouTube reviews, but honestly, baby, I've seen it all. I have never seen a Neverfull turned inside out. But I will say the Neverfull, classic, can never go wrong with it. And don't let anybody, you know, this goes with anything in general within this list, you know, even though I'm not a Louis Vuitton fan, that doesn't mean that you can't enjoy it. So if you love it, if you worked hard for the item, then I would say go for it. If it's gonna bring you happiness, if it's gonna bring you joy, then you should do it. And honestly, what other people say, whatever Sergio says, whatever the next YouTuber says, whatever your tia says, or whatever your next door neighbor says, honestly, who cares, because you worked hard for it. It's your money, so do as you please. But I will say Louis Vuitton Neverfull, I like you, but not enough to buy you. I would probably buy a Speedy over a Neverfull, just because I find that Speedy would work a little bit more better within my lifestyle. Sixth favorite bag is going to be the Louis Vuitton Pochette Metis. And this was a bag that I really wanted in high school. When I was in high school, this bag first came out, and everybody, I think in 2015, and they did like a beautiful kind of like black and red kind of like eclipse one. So pretty. Oh, I remember like in high school, I really wanted this bag. I was into Louis Vuitton in high school, and I remember I really wanted the bag. Obviously, I was a kid in high school, so obviously that was not going to happen unless I didn't spend any money. But you know, kids in high school want Anastasia Modern Renaissance palettes, they want EOS lip balms. That was kind of like in the era that I grew in high school and kind of like in junior high. So Anastasia liquid lipsticks, like who remembers all that? Because I definitely grew up in that era. I'm starting to sound old, even though this was like not that long ago. Louis Vuitton Pochette Metis, I love the top handle. I'm not a big fan of twillies and like a bunch of junk on the handbags. I don't like kind of like hand sanitizer unless you're like a mom or you're a nurse. I can see that, you know, I respect that. But honestly, I'm not a big twilly fan. Like I don't like things. I think the bags for the most part look better when they're more cleaner, in my opinion. But I'm also a little bit more simple when it comes to my style. But I will say a twilly does look really good on the top handle of a Pochette Metis. I don't know what it is. I do like a twilly on a Pochette Metis. I really do. I think it kind of umps it. And there's not a lot of bags that I could say. But I will say maybe top handle bags in general tend to look a little bit better with twillies. But if it has two handles with two different types of twillies, or two of the exact same twillies, I don't know, I feel like it's a little bit too much. But the Pochette Metis, that looks pretty good with the twilly, if I do say so myself. And for me, reverse monogram or regular monogram, I'd probably get the classic monogram. I think it's so pretty. Or probably get it in an empreinte leather. But the Pochette Metis is definitely a beautiful bag. I like it because it's very kind of carefree, and it's probably the only have you noticed this is the only kind of crossbody slash shoulder bag that I really like from Louis Vuitton. All the other ones don't really interest me. But also I'm a guy and I like things to be a little bit more like thicker straps. I like things to kind of fit more of my style. Big fan of those. But Pochette Metis, I like it because you can carry it top handle, crossbody, shoulder bag, and I like the zipper in the back because you can put your valet ticket, you can put your cell phone in there, you can put your quick credit card, and you can just kind of like swipe it to the side. Very, very convenient. So for me, Pochette Metis definitely a favorite that I really like. I really do. Number 7 is going to be Louis Vuitton trunks. I think we all know Louis Vuitton started as a trunk maker, so it's only appropriate to obviously mention Louis Vuitton trunks. I feel like if I didn't, I'd be quite disrespectful if you asked me. Louis Vuitton will be looking down on his grade, be like, you made this video, Sergio, without mentioning trunks. I said when I go to heaven, I know Mr. Vuitton's gonna slap me if I didn't do that. So I would say Louis Vuitton trunks are just as iconic as their iconic handbags, but it all started with trunks, so it's only appropriate for me to mention them. I love Louis Vuitton trunks, and if I were to get, you know, another Louis Vuitton item like in my home, I think a Louis Vuitton trunk would be so pretty. Even like those old vintagey ones you can get, I think it's like to use it as like a coffee table book. I think that's such a mood, I think that's such a vibe. Or like the trunks that you see that are like little mini closets, or like, you know, all those little things. I think Louis Vuitton makes trunks very beautifully, and there's nothing like a Louis Vuitton trunk. There's a lot of competitors, a lot of people that try to do it better, but at the end of the day, when you think of luxury trunk, you are going to think about Louis Vuitton, or Louis Vuitton. I see, like, that's how my parents say Louis Vuitton. But trunks, definitely, I love. And the last item is going to be the Louis Vuitton key clay. This is a handbag. This is an accessory that I've had in the past, and I do like it for a reason. It is just so convenient. It is so nice. I no longer have this. I sold this like last year to one of my beautiful subscribers. Hopefully she's enjoying it. But for me, I changed into a little Miu Miu pouch a little bit more because I wanted something a little bit different, but that kind of went a lot. But I kind of wanted just to be like a little different. But I will say the key clay has been really well. I think the price of it now is $325. I remember buying it for $185 back in high school, so it has went up quite a bit, well over $100 within a span of a few short years. Not that much years, but a little bit of years. But I will say the key clay is one of my favorite SOGs, just because, especially if you're in high school, you can put it in your key. It's very easy. You can put your card, your ID, you're good to go. You can put it on your belt loop. I wouldn't recommend like wearing it on your belt loop and having it kind of lay. What I would do when I had it when I was in high school, or when I knew I didn't want to bring a bag, I'd loop it and then I would put the wallet in here so it wouldn't drop. So I know that I would have it, or I would put it on this loop here, and I would put it either in the back pocket or I would put it in the front pocket, just so I wouldn't lose it. So it's a little bit more convenient. So it is a really great item if you do want to get your first Louis Vuitton item. If you want to get your son or your daughter a Louis Vuitton, you know, item, I think the key clay is very one, because if they lose it, like, everybody kind of carries keys. Everybody has belt loops in their trousers for the most part, so it's very kind of like easy not to lose it, even though it is a small piece of canvas. But I think it's done pretty well, and I promise you that clasp, I kid you not, I have people tug on it. I've had everything happen to it. I spilled so many things on it. It still looked brand new. It did tarnish a little bit, but that comes expected when you wear it so much. It pulled up pretty well, and I never lost it, and I never had a panic attack of me losing it. So I will say the key clay is a pretty great item, if I do say so myself. And yeah, guys, those are gonna be my favorite Louis Vuitton kind of bags and accessories. I just kind of want to talk about it because you guys always ask me, you guys always want to know my thoughts and my opinions on Louis Vuitton. Like I said, it's not my favorite brand at all. I don't really like Louis Vuitton, but I will give credit where it's due. And if I do like a handbag, regardless of the maker, I will give it credit. Probably the only brand that I hate, and I hate to use the word hate because hate is such a strong word, Dolce & Gabbana is just the only brand that you would never see me talk about or give, you know, support to. Other than that, I'm pretty open to all the other brands, but Dolce & Gabbana is just not a brand that you will ever see me purchase or ever see me talk about on this channel. I could, you know, maybe buy something from Dior tomorrow, maybe buy something from Louis Vuitton tomorrow. Never say never. It's highly unlikely, but what I'm trying to say is, like, never say never. But I will say there's one brand that I will never purchase from, and that is Dolce & Gabbana, just because it's Dolce & Gabbana. But yeah, guys, I would love to hear your thoughts and your opinions on Louis Vuitton handbags. Did you think the choices that I made were good or bad? And if you own any of these handbags, definitely let me know down below, because I would love to hear your thoughts and your opinions down below. But like I said, Capucines, Alma, I mean, they're pretty nice bags, and obviously classic trunks, and key clay. I think out of the entire list, I think those 4 are probably my favorite ones. I want to say thank you so much for watching this little gay homosexual video. I love each and every single one of you, and I'll see you guys on the next video, guys. Bye and take care. And I'll try to leave all the pre-loved versions of everything linked down below so you can see maybe you can find a little bit of a good deal. Alright guys, see you a la próxima video. Cuídense.